All right, folks, it's the one and only Monetary Monkey on the radio right now, live with my main guys, the one and only Z, the one and only Cowboy, and the one and only Frank, the man simply known as Frank. We're here, Rogue Coin, folks, and guys, it's been tremendous. A lot of hodlers are applying copious amounts of healing balm right to their rear ends as the markets were crashing. Those that are in certain trading rooms that have 20 calls on very long holds, watching their profits disappear, are crying and weeping. There's gnashing of teeth. Others who are concerned. Hold on, I got Agent Wayne W calling me right now. I'm gonna text him, tell him I'm calling him later. Okay.
Finally, someone other than me interrupts.
Other than you interrupting me. He's the other person that calls that you know that I'm on the air. He calls, you call. It's you two guys. But you're in good company. But yeah, so there's a lot of people who are terrified of what's going on, and they're the weekends are throwing it all up there, and I'm out of here. Everybody is feeling the pain except those that are in the trading room, except those that are in the Remain Calm school. Those that are in the crypto school are kicking ass, taking names, making it happen. So without further ado, Z, Cowboy, Frank, what's going on, guys?
Hey, man, we have a message for your beloved listeners, and that is remain calm. We're here to help.
That's it. That's it.
There's a reason we called our credit repair asset protection cryptocurrency advising company Remain Calm.
Absolutely, man.
These are subjects that require people to take a deep breath and to approach these things with some calm and some patience. And we really are here to help. And I was just talking to somebody before we got on today who was benefiting from some of what we're doing. He actually wasn't a member of the trade room yet, but had watched a bunch of our content and was just so excited. He's telling me, "You're going to see me in that trade room by the end of the day. I'm so excited." And he was just going on, and it really made my day. But it's exciting and so gratifying to see people, so many people, so happy with what we're doing. We worked really hard on the crypto school. We're working really hard on the Watch Us Trade Room, and feedback we've been getting has been just, I mean, I don't know, I can't find another word than gratifying. It's just makes me feel really, really happy.
Yeah, man, it's because of these two wonder kids, these wonderkins, these mavens that we have here.
Well, Cowboy's old like us. Only Z is young.
He's not that young. Makes the cut. Without further ado, Z, what's going on, buddy?
Things are going really, really well. I think for the first time, first time in really 2 months, we saw some very significant gains the other day. And you know, everybody that's listening, everybody that's in the trade room, you know, you guys were great. I was live with you guys that night. We traded till like 4 a.m. Like live, it was just like nonstop back and forth within the trade room. You know, I was like, "Oh no, guys, don't sell right now, don't sell right now." You know, it's you know, I was tracking it on the 1 minute chart. Wow. You know, every little tick, I was just
that's watching us trade.
Yeah, and you know, and yeah, it was awesome. And we actually the last 3 days, just on one call alone, guys, we hit 107% gain.
Oh my goodness!
Now I don't know whether those people understand just how much that is. Like 107% gain, guys. If you put $10,000, you are gonna get more than $10,000 back.
That's crazy.
On one trade in 3 days. And that didn't even include like Cowboy shot out some fantastic calls and Substratum and so forth that like gave, you know, massive 30, 40 plus gains. There was another call on BNB. I mean, all in all. In the last week, we did 227%. If you were to follow every single coin call to the T, 227%.
That's amazing.
In 5 days.
Better. We did better than that, dude, because BNB and Sub both were 55% gainers. So just between 3 calls, we were over 200%. And when Z says like things like, you know, don't trade now, what he means is I'm not trading now, because everybody comes in and they watch us trade. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
None of this is financial advice, and you know, it's all kind of, you know, it's just like a lot of fun. Everybody gets entertained watching us trade. So, and they got to watch us go. Let me see. We made also there was Venn, which we made a massive percentage on. You know, we called Venn to get in the 30s. Z, you called that one, and it went up to like 49 last night.
Yeah. I think, and even right now, it's still heading very strong. It's at 47 right now. It took a little tiny dip, but you know, those are massive gains. You're talking about 20% gains now, guys. Plus,
you guys are talking, just picturing people checking the date for cryptos is terrible, and you guys are talking about multiple 100% gains. And that's the thing that's happening with the watch us trade stuff, that these guys are on top of it. And even though the market itself is terrible, they're catching what trades are out there and making the most of them. And that's pretty impressive, because there's a lot of trade rooms in times like this. They just sort of button up. They don't talk about it. And which is totally understandable. When there's no trades, you don't tell people to trade. There's no reason to do that. But Z and Cowboy are so obsessive about watching the market that man, you guys can just you know, what's the expression? I want to say milk a stone, but that sounds very wrong.
Blood for the stone.
Blood for a stone. Yeah.
Yeah, milk a stone.
You don't want to milk a stone, bro.
Did you milk my cat?
You know what's amazing is that I was getting a lot of feedback from the moles that we have planted throughout various other trade rooms and what's going on in the cryptoverse with these quote unquote crypto traders. And what was going on the last 2 weeks, especially the last 3 days while the bludgeoning was going on, it was panic. If it wasn't panic and people getting in more long holds where they're losing ridiculous amounts of money, it was what you heard was just crickets. Nothing.
Yeah.
Literally, people were asking for help. Hey, what do I do here? And there was no answer on the other end of the line. Meanwhile, in our trading room, Z and Cowboy are killing it. Like these guys went out there. It was like clubbing baby seals for these guys. It was just like clubbing baby seals. There's no other way to put it, man.
And almost as fun.
It's almost as fun.
Well, I was just on the phone with one of our wonderful clients, and I was explaining to them one of the cool things that you guys do is your trades are short term enough that when there's big moves, it triggers stop losses and people are out. They're long term enough that if you work all day and you're busy like me, at least lately, especially with my office situation this week, and you don't have an incredible amount of time to just sit around watching your computer, you can come home from work and you're going to find something useful for you most days. In fact, I want to say all days, but you know, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. Most days you're going to find something that has enough time in it that you can get involved in it. But what we're not doing is these long-term trades that are just hoping the market's going to be good 3 months from now. You know, you guys get in, you make your money, and you get back to safety, and that's pretty exciting. Very helpful.
Well, we do that. We actually do have a couple of like gems, long-term.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah,
we plant a small seed, like a small percentage of your portfolio. We do it all.
Yeah, we're all hodlers of something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like I've got plenty that I just hodl, and I know you guys have that as well. And I was even mentioning that to this client that, like, of course, there's, you know, ICOs that we really liked or stuff that we're trying to accumulate as much as possible because we think it's going to be something huge in the future. But in terms of the trade calls that you guys make, it's just awesome, you know. Able to get in and get out, and even when there's a down day like today, where the market has really tanked in terms of Bitcoin and a bunch of other things, which we'll talk about in a minute. Your approach to trading doesn't leave people stranded and devastated. That was the point I was trying to make.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, Z and I, we enjoy what we do. You know, we also have had experience. I think Z's in like 30 other call rooms. I'm in about 5.
I'm in so many other call rooms right now. It's not even fun.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it, like, so if you're gonna do trades in a market like this, then the word of the day or the term of the day is stop loss. You know, I had a buddy that was complaining, oh, you told me to get into this one and that one, and and this all this. And I said, I didn't tell you anything. I don't give financial advice, but I did tell him what I was doing. And he was upset. And oh, this lost money, that lost money. I said, well, you remember that part where I told you that I put in a stop loss? He goes, oh yeah, I couldn't figure out how to do that. I'm like, dude, I've been your buddy 25 years. You just saved like thousands of dollars. So, and we have a video Frank and I did of how to do a stop loss, literally on the two like most used exchanges.
Yep.
So,
and it's super important, guys. I cannot, Calbo was actually the one who taught me how to do a stop loss. And, I was, well, it's different for me because I was looking at charts all day long, so I could stop myself out. But had I learned stop losses, I could actually go to sleep, peacefully. And I actually, like last night, unfortunately, Bitcoin kind of went down a little bit, which kind of took some alts down, but my stop losses kicked in and I woke up today fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's important to have those things in place. Otherwise, you're gonna have your pants ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It might not matter for your hodl bag, right? For your stuff that you're just accumulating,
Correct,
because you believe it's going to go to the moon. But when you're in a trade, you want to make sure that you can get out without losing your shirt on it. Which is
back to the white meat.
Yeah, we have we have a video at thecryptoschool.io for our members about how to set up those stop losses. And when we watch you guys trade for entertainment in the Watch Us Trade Room, you guys are always giving us the stop loss, and it's very, very, very helpful. And I've heard, what do you guys, I mean, I know what you think of it because of what you just said, but maybe you can explain why some people say this, but I've heard it from a few different sources. Some of them are people that I really like, but it's obviously bad advice depending on what you're trying to do. But some of them have said when it comes to cryptos, just don't have a stop loss. You shouldn't, because you'll like lose all your cryptos. I mean, what would you guys say to that?
Well, it sounds to me like somebody's married to a paradigm. I don't have a single paradigm. I look at each and every individual situation.
Right.
A lot of people, they'll put their stop loss a little too high, and then what happens is the price will dip a little bit into their stop loss, and then it'll shoot back up, and oh, you freaking stop loss, and I'll tell people, hey, my stop loss, it looks a little bit low. There's a reason for that. In case there is kind of a smaller dip, we don't lose our investment. So stop losses have a little bit of they'll sting you. I'd say 80% of the time they help. So, are you having
real quick? For example, I'm an investor in Pillar, right? I would put it that way. I'm accumulating as much Pillar as I can. I think it's great. There's a couple others like that. I really like PayPi. We've talked about that, I think. I don't have a stop loss on those. They go up, they go down. I don't care, because those are like an ICO for me. They're products that are in development. Their day-to-day movements aren't that important, except when they drop in half, I'll go get more. Right.
And you got in early, correct?
Well, I think now is early because they're both around $1.
Correct.
So I'm accumulating those. But for something like the kind of trades that we watch you guys do and Watch Us Trade, that's very different. That's saying here's a coin that you can expand your Bitcoin bag with over the next couple days potentially. And if it goes wrong, which is always possible, here's how to get out. That's what the stop loss is for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Z, are you having the same kind of level of success with stop losses? Or are you ever having it kind of sting you at all, or are you good?
I'm sorry, my mic just cut out. What'd you say?
No, I was asking, like, are you having that same kind of, at least like 80-90% level of a stop loss was a good thing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the reason why some people dislike stop loss, and this is why I personally didn't really use them back in the day, but once again, it's different for me because I was looking at charts live, was that, obviously cryptocurrencies are very volatile. Back in the day when the dominance of Bitcoin was much higher, altcoins were extremely, extremely more volatile, like even much more than now. So, if you do set a 5% stop loss, or you do set like even a 10% stop loss, a lot of times, it could flash crash, or it could just kind of trail downwards, even when you're really not paying attention to it, which would trigger your stop loss, even though it's not really going downwards. So that's the only thing about stop losses. But overall, stop losses have been the saving grace to me, for sure.
Very cool. before we look at a couple charts, do we want to talk about a little bit of news? I know none of us are completely immersed in this news, but there was a couple things that are potentially explaining. It's always hard to figure out, but why Bitcoin and a lot of the alts. Well, man, almost everything's in the red today. There's very, very few things in the green. Why that happened? We know we had a story from Google. They're not going to allow. They're cutting off. I think it was in June. They're cutting off advertising for ICOs, I think was it, or is it all crypto related businesses?
It's all crypto related. Crypto related businesses. They're gonna essentially do it like Facebook, which what's it called? Facebook actually has a ban pretty much on the word cryptocurrencies. If you try to throw in crypto or like Bitcoin or any sort of like that kind of lingo within your advertisement, they will not approve it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and
so
you know what?
Same thing.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Z was saying most likely Google's going to do the same thing.
Google's going to do the same thing, which is it's unfortunate. Of course, we don't want them to punish all cryptos because not all cryptos are bad. Yeah. But unfortunately, I agree on this. The ICO fad has been out of control. Everybody's been trying to tokenize just everything in the world. Like someone tries to make a grilled cheese sandwich, wants to tokenize it, just so that they can make a quick.
I'd buy that token.
Exactly. You're keto right now, so you think grilled cheese sandwich, blockchain is like the way to go, and
blockchain my keto.
Hey, I don't want to hear it.
Kill myself.
I'm on a damned vegetable cleanse. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, Nick's got it way worse than me. He's got a full. Man. His girlfriend's giving him shakes.
I'm going on
the
not good diet.
I just want you guys to know that I've got a pizza coming soon.
Oh, you're the worst. You eat freaking macros.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, you got a pizza and a knuckle sandwich. No, seriously, there's a lot of this talk. First of all, I got 3 words for you: duck, duck, go. I've been using DuckDuckGo instead of Google for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and it's just not. It's not Alphabet, it's not government. Supposedly they spy on you a lot less. I use Brave as a browser. I use DuckDuckGo as my search. So
cool.
And I think that's, YouTube to DTube, and these are how things are just going to go as long as the government wants to do their temper tantrum and kick and scream into obsolescence.
I was thinking about ADX, which our friend Bix is been talking a lot about. As you just see more and more.
Wait. I'm sorry. The cryptocurrency ADX. My bad.
Yeah.
ADX and CDX are going to be 2 little mini powerhouses in the marketing standpoint.
Yeah, and to Z's point, I'm trying to think of like a crypto advertisement that would be valuable to me. So on that side, it's like I hate to see them restricting anything, but there was a lot of silly ICOs and stuff. I mean, I know V and I got an email from an associate where someone was saying they were going to give him 1 million tokens in lieu of paying some loan back or something. And and he was like, "What do you guys think?" Because he knew we were crypto guys, And he didn't know, he just knew we were into cryptos, and this was months ago. And so I looked it up, and it was like, it was, it was like a website that somebody, built in 5 seconds and said, we're gonna revolutionize blah blah blah.
It was like a Wix site.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there is no depth.
Yeah,
correct.
It was. You could tell right away that this was just a total poop coin, and that it was useless. And there's a lot of that. And so, and you see who's that cheesy guy on YouTube that pops up all the time when you're trying to watch a video, who's trying to sell you? He says, here's my Ferrari. I read a lot of books.
Oh yeah. Ty Lopez. Like, here's my Ferrari. I don't mean to show you guys my Ferrari. I'm showing you guys my Ferrari because I want you guys to get knowledge. I'm like, just show me your buck. Like, show me your Ferrari.
That as much as I hate all this talk about how the government wants to protect us from cryptos, there are a lot of goofy sort of marketing people who are getting taken for a ride with this stuff.
Well, so I'm actually looking at the live chat, and Cliff Martin brings up a great point right there. He remembers seeing BitPetite on Facebook back in the day.
Hey, there you go.
We all know about the story about Bit Petite, you know.
Yeah.
You know, God bless Jay Snip.
Yeah, you know what?
You
I
know.
don't agree with any of you guys. Like, as far as I'm concerned, if people are not smart enough to invest, to research what they're investing in, then they deserve to be parted with their money. I'm sorry, but
I'm with that as well. But you know,
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Cowboy. What's it called? Like,
there's a culture that has been created in this country that if the FDA says that this food or drug is safe, then you can take it. If the SEC says that this whatever investment is safe, then we'll protect you. And what that has done is it has made people lazy. It has made people trust food like McDonald's, which is killing people every day. It has made people trust vaccines. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, but I just think the government should step out and let people like learn on their own. And if you're not smart enough to look into what you're doing, sorry, Charlie, you messed up.
He's pretty much saying, what's it called? Survival of the fittest, or
yeah, it's making us weak. It's making us weak as a society. Like
it definitely is.
Thing. Yeah. You know, we always talk about when we get on like channels like this, especially the morning shows and whatnot. We always talk about making this country great, making, you know, getting back to the greatness of what it is to be, you know, the Americana, the maverick attitude. The reason the world, especially in the Western world, that we've gotten into the situation that we're in today is simply because people have an attitude that somebody else is going to take care of them. Somebody else is going to wipe their butts. Okay. Well, I'm not going to worry about it because this politician so-and-so, he's going to take care of it. And that politician is going to take it. And this governmental agency is going to make sure that I don't lose nothing. You have to understand, folks, I don't know how many times I got to beat it into your heads. Your government and you have two very opposite and competing interests. Okay, so you can't look to them to wipe your butts. I mean, think about this. You apply it to every aspect of American life, whether it's investing, whether it's educating your children, whether it's your own health. Everybody's looking to pass the buck. Nobody does the research on their own. Nobody takes the time to, hey, let me look into this, let me look into that. There's no thirst for knowledge for the majority of the Americans. And that's the problem. So when you make it dangerous, where if you're not paying attention, you could be raped in the butthole.
Why?
Sodomized. Financially, in the worst possible way, with no lube. And left bloody on the sidewalk somewhere in a ditch.
I'm going to throw up.
Be more careful about you with your money. You won't have the attitude of, hey, I'm gonna pass a little Jimmy John's trade zone, and he's gonna invest in stocks and these companies. I'm not gonna pay any attention because my broker's gonna take care of it. No, you need to take care of it, and that's the issue here. And that's what I love about the crypto school, and that's what I love about the Watch Us Trade Room, because it's about empowerment. You trade with Z, you trade with Cowboy. You're gonna learn the method to the madness. You're not gonna be like, you're going to sell this, you're going to buy that, put a stop loss here. But why? I don't know, I'm out. When you go to most trade rooms, that's exactly what you get. Or, hey, what should I do over here? Just keep holding. Keep holding.
Yeah, I mean, if he's absolutely correct. Most trade rooms, guys, you don't get a chat inside most trade rooms. I just to let you guys know, you get a call channel in which they will send out a call telling you when to buy, when to sell. I mean, if they even tell you when to sell, and they don't even talk about stop losses or even a catalyst, and then that's it. That's all you get. And then you kind of like one of like the masses, because a lot of these call channels have like 1,000 people inside of them, right? So it's like a hamster wheel. You kind of just like go in and you try to like build up momentum with your mini group, and then they release it out to their free group, and then it kind of just like pumps a little bit, and then it just a lot of times it just dumps and you just eat it.
And what do those rooms cost usually, Z?
Those rooms cost they start at $400 minimum. They start at $400, or a lot of times they start, via crypto like 0.04 BTC to try to make it sound better, because BTC is down right now. But you don't realize that at the moment that BTC crossed that 10K line, you just overpaid like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing that people don't get. Okay, this is kind of a new game. And there is a market rate developing for these rooms. The market rate is somewhere between $400 and $600. That's what these people are paying, and they're paying just to see. Like, there's no participation, there's no chatting.
That's per month.
That's per month, and oftentimes it goes up because it's based on crypto prices. So look, the level of service. I was in there at 4 a.m. Z was in there at 2 a.m. last night. It's not like that every day. It's not, but I start at 9 and I usually end around 8 or 9. I mean, it's not because I'm that great. I love what I do. Z's in there like all the time. 2 nights ago, and I know he talked about this at the beginning of the show, but literally I looked at all of the transcripts. Z was in there like, okay, I'm buying here. Okay, I'm selling here. And he literally flipped a coin into like, it not only was it 100% gain, but he was actually flipping it on the way up, like selling at the top and buying at the bottom to actually turn into something closer. Yeah, I don't know the math, but I'm saying 120 to 130%. You don't have people doing live calls like that. What people are, I mean, $300 a month is a freaking steal. And if you get in, Frank, when is it that
I was just gonna say today's, if you want to get the first 2 months free, we're at March 14th today. If you want to get the first 2 months free, today's the last day. Not free. Oh my goodness. Free, not free. Sorry, guys.
Big influx right now.
Yeah, big influx. I'm sorry, everybody. If you want to get the first 2 months of your subscription at the current introductory pricing of $149.97, today's the last day, because on April 15th, the price of the subscription is going to be increased to double. We're at a 50% off sale right now for the introductory, and we've probably dragged it out too long just because we want to see people get a chance to get in and try it out. In fact, I just Cowboy sent this to me. So today's April 14th. Get in today, and that means you'll get your first month at $149.97, and then when it renews next month on the 14th, you'll get it at that price. You won't be paying the full price until the beginning of your third month. So today's a great day to join. But listen, if you join tomorrow, you're getting your first month at that price. Or if you join any day before April 15th, you're getting your first month at that price. So it's a great deal. You can cancel anytime.
It is tax
almost
day, guys.
Yeah, almost no one cancels, but you can cancel anytime. But Cowboys sent me this before. I don't think we're not going to say their name, but this is a person who joined very recently. They wrote, "Great product, gentlemen. I labored over joining for a month. Now I'm kicking myself for not jumping in sooner. Already paid for my membership in 24 hours with a moderate trade." That's real. We didn't solicit that. That's just one of the dozen.
First name of
what's that? They have a fake name.
Then use the fake name. Use the handle.
Megabyte.
Nice.
Thank you, Megabyte. We love you, man. Or lady. I guess Megabyte is no gender. So
no, guys, 57 genders. So there's like, you got to
Megabyte. But thanks, Megabyte.
And yeah, guys, we're gonna maybe put together some sort of collage or something regarding like what people are saying. Yeah, I mean, there's been, I know for a fact, especially that night, there's been multiple people who have told me they've paid for their membership 2, 3. I even had one guy who paid it 5 times over in one night.
That's nuts.
And
one night. Amazing.
There are sometimes when there isn't much happening because Bitcoin is kind of moving around. We had a day where there was not much more going on except for Bitcoin calls because it was just so insane. Getting into other coins is very dangerous. And we had a guy tell me that he paid for his membership just based on those Bitcoin calls, when to get in, when to get out.
On an awful day. When we're doing Bitcoin calls, it's because it's an awful day for trades.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens.
It's we don't control the market, but you guys work the market, and that's awesome. Hey, Nick, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Ask.
Hey, we got an email from a nice lady. I think she was already a member of the crypto school, but she wasn't yet a member of the trade room. And she loved the crypto school. She was asking some things. She was wondering what would she need to have in terms of an investment for it to be worth her while to pay the money every month to learn from you guys and watch you guys trade for entertainment and education? Can you speak to that? Because I know you guys started out very humbly and built up very, very healthy portfolios. What kind of investment in cryptos? If a person wanted to get started with trading, we don't give investment advice, obviously, but if a person wanted to get started with trading and wanted to watch and wanted to learn, what would they need to have to get started?
Z and I both actually started with roughly the same amount, about 4,000, and you know, obviously we've done well from there. But I literally started, I think my first buy into crypto was like less than $1,000, and I was able to boost that. So the reason that you can start with a small investment in crypto is because most of the exchanges pay based on a percentage. So micro trades, if you will, and that's technically not a micro trade, but very small trades have very small fees. You want to go to the stock market with like $100, you're going to lose, 6 or 7% of your portfolio just in trading fees. So you better hope that you win.
It's not worth your time.
Not worth your time. But like say on Binance, if you're holding BNB coin, I think it's like 0.5%. It's nothing. So if you only have a few $100 and you get in there and you make like 20%, you're not losing a huge amount on fees because it's just a straight, cut off that.
Right. And you don't have to worry about pattern day trading and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people are concerned about how much time, what's the time commitment.
Yeah, that's a big part of the question too.
In
fact, I remember she was saying, she works all day. She doesn't have a ton of time, and would be checking it out after work and looking at on weekends.
Yeah, and okay, so the way that Z and I started out, we both worked for related companies, basically the same company, and we were trading with day jobs. So we would go in there, take a look at what we wanted to trade, set a sell order or set a stop loss, and walk away. Now most of our calls are right now, they're a little bit shorter, like they're a few days or maybe a week before they play out. Sometimes they play out the same day, which is always fun. But a lot of the times you can make a call and it's going to be good for a long time, especially when the alt market starts to kick off. Bitcoin stops playing around like it is. You'll see a call in the morning and, it's get in under this, we're getting in at this price. And then, I'll look later that afternoon and it's still underneath that price. I'm like, oh, I could buy a little bit more, meaning that the call is good for a while. So it really fits all schedules. And I know this because I've worked all different schedules while trading.
That's helpful. Cool. So in other words, extremely flexible. Almost anybody could benefit. Nice. Cool.
Absolutely.
Hey, we want to talk really quickly. One of the other things, I don't know if this is affecting the market or not, but we had the hearings with, was it the SEC about ICOs? And that was the focus. I was doing a little more research on it, looking mostly at CoinDesk's Twitter account. They had the hashtag ICOs in the house. So the top two tweets from that hashtag, and this is a great contrast. And V, you're more connected to this stuff than I am, so you could tell me if you know who these representatives are. But we have this incredible genius, Rep. Brad Sherman, relays a statement from Rep. Carolyn Maloney. Quote, "Cryptocurrencies are a crock. They help terrorists and criminals move money around the world."
Freaking moron.
Total moron. Right? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
They help tax evaders. They help startup companies take money and commit fraud. First of all, there's not enough of a market cap in cryptos to fund a whole lot of shenanigans to begin with. we all love the money that people are making, but I mean, in terms of not exactly enough money to fund the drug trade, is it?
No, not at all. That's why drug dealers don't use cryptos.
Yeah,
terrorists. What are they going to do? Hamid, I'm going to make you have to pay for the suicide bomb. What do I do? Here, let me get my smartphone out and let me give you some of my Bitcoin and you give me some of your Ethereum and we make it happen. Okay, Hamid, but what do we do? How do we pay for the bomb? I don't know. Yeah. Does Walid, does he take a Bitcoin?
What's your wallet address?
Exactly. Who is this? Politician scumbags like this idiot that Frank just quoted.
Carolyn Maloney.
Look, at the end of the day, Ron Paul's right. Government does not like competition. They don't like competition. They want you locked into their system. The number one currency in the world that funds the drug trade, that's involved in the drug trade, that's involved in narco trafficking, that's involved in human trafficking, that's involved in terrorism, that's involved in war and the loss of life to the tune of tens of millions,
billions, trillions.
Yep, is the dollar.
The dollar.
It's the dollar. That is the number one. Not only is it the most corrupt, most fraudulent asset you could hold, it's actually a liability more than anything else these days. But the fact is, it's the very thing that funds revolutions. It's the very thing that has overthrown 30 democratically elected countries in the last 50 years. And any nation that has tried to take out the dollar, what happens? Uncle Sam and his merry band of troops show up at your shore. Look what happened to Saddam Hussein. Yep. Look what happened to Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. Look at what was just about to happen to Bashar al-Assad of Syria until the man, the boss himself, Vlad Putin, drew the line in the sand and says, "You will not cross."
With his shirt off. With his shirt off while riding a horse.
With his shirt off while riding a horse.
Real fast, guys. What's it called? Wizardry. No, unfortunately, you cannot pay with crypto in the trade room. The main reason for that also is because, obviously crypto is very volatile, so we don't want to jip you guys too.
Yeah, it's just it's a technical. We accept crypto for the crypto school membership. We can't do it for the subscriptions. Nobody has put out a system yet where we can have recurring subscriptions in crypto. So that's just a technical limitation. I'm sure there are some super nerds out there who could do it. I say that with respect, but we don't have any of those on the team at this moment. So
I don't know of any service that does that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of anybody doing it automatically the way our.
I mean, can you imagine sitting there invoicing?
Yeah, I don't want to.
It's a pain in the butt, man.
I don't want to sit around keeping a spreadsheet of who paid this month and kicking people out, and it's just a total nightmare. Here's the other end of the spectrum. V. Here's somebody, I don't know this guy, Rep Tom Emmer, Emmer, E-M-M-E-R. He's not so much a knucklehead. In fact, I love what he says here. Quote, "I hear elected officials who don't have any concept of what we're dealing with here talking about, quote, we have to go in and regulate." So there's a guy who has a clue. That's exactly what's happening here. But from what I was following, I didn't get to follow it exhaustively, but I was following the CoinDesk tweets at CoinDesk, and it seemed like it was a back and forth of knuckleheads saying we got to protect the consumer like they care, and then some pretty smart people saying we don't want to clobber this new innovative industry on the way up, and we wouldn't even know how to regulate it yet if we could.
And they can't. And the whole thing is, when you look at what China and Russia is doing with blockchain technology, with cryptocurrencies, you know what they're finding out? They can't regulate it, and they can't even tax it. It's to the point of frustration that in Germany they passed a law saying, "Yeah, we're not gonna tax." Well, what the hell was that? What? Jesus Christ! My office just got clipped by a C-130 Hercules. Jesus! Wow! Holy cow! My entire office just shook.
Really? Wow.
Yeah! Wow! Holy crud! Anyway, what the Chinese is starting to say is this. I'm sorry, Germany. They're like, we can't tax it. So we're just going to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to tax. We're going to pass a law and say we're not going to tax cryptocurrencies. This is the largest economy in Europe, saying,
wow,
we're not going to tax cryptocurrencies because there's no way to do it.
They just can't. Yeah.
Look at the ridiculous. You see, if you get a chance, go back and listen to the interview between Mr. X and Frank, where he's talking about taxation and cryptos. There's no regulatory teeth behind any of it. It's just a scare tactic. There's no regulatory. It's a scare tactic to have you out there and report. Okay.
You were even seeing some of that.
What if the IRS comes up to you and says, "All right, look, your Coinbase account here says you got $200,000 in cryptos. What did you do with it?" I have no idea, man. I took it out of Coinbase. I put it in a hard wallet. I did some couple of trades. I lost it all. I hate cryptocurrencies. They're so volatile. What's the IRS guy gonna say?
You didn't protect me.
Speaking of that,
that's it. See what happens?
Speaking of that, actually, a lot of YouTubers do that. A lot of YouTubers actually do that. One of the guys who's getting currently sued for the whole BitConnect thing, Trayvon James, He announced that, he made a video that he got phished. He made a video that he lost like I don't know, he lost like 100 Bitcoin, or he lost something ridiculous, something like right? He got phished. And how are they going to prove he did it?
Yeah,
exactly. I had my 200 and I had my 200 Bitcoin sitting on a wallet. Well, where's your wallet? I lost it.
I gave all my cryptos to 50 Cent.
Now, I wonder whether the Winklevoss twins are gonna say they got fished.
Oh man, could you imagine? That would crash the market.
If I was any of these high-profile morons talking about I have $1 billion in Bitcoin, I just shut my mouth. These idiots, the Winklevoss. Again, these are guys who don't think outside the box. These are guys who think the system is their friend. System is not your friend.
Yeah.
Not your friend.
But even more, like going back to our discussion with X. Okay, so you own crypto. Where's the taxable event in owning crypto?
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, and where's the statutes that explain how those taxes are calculated and collected? And what are they being collected in? If my crypto investment increased in value, how are we? What are we doing? Are we being forced to sell into dollars? How does that work?
That doesn't exist.
Is the government accepting Litecoin?
Yeah.
It's just confusing to me.
That being said, though, the Canadian government is actually starting to. They're actually currently testing blockchain for their government.
Oh
yeah, the Chinese are doing it. Russia's doing it. They're all full on it. South Korea's on. They're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had for the longest time, everybody saying, you've probably seen this. Well, you're probably smart enough not to read comments under your videos.
I never read it.
Although most
unless somebody really makes fun of me and I'm in the mood to tear somebody a new one, then I jump in and make them feel stupid.
I'll see comments, for example. I'll check in usually just to see if people have questions after our discussions. And you'll always get that person who is saying, the government's going to shut this down. You're all going to jail or something. It's just foolish stuff. What we're actually seeing is governments take this pretty seriously, and none of them seem to want to shut it down. They recognize that would be a bad idea. What we're seeing is more of a can't beat them, might as well join them kind of thing going on.
Yeah, just recently, besides this U.S. news, unfortunately, with Google and whatever the government hearing, South Korea actually recently, launched news out saying that they were working on regulations for cryptos, but they were open to them, which essentially is the reason why the coin Icon started pumping up, is because it is touted as the South Korea's Ethereum, but yeah, they were gonna start allowing ICOs and so forth to be developed and built in Korea.
Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a far cry from the various genders that we're creating every month in this country.
Yeah, but seriously, like the fear, and we've seen this for years. And what could you say other than I don't think so or they can't? Now we're seeing really strong evidence that governments are trying to figure out how to get involved, not how to squash it. And of course, you're always going to have politicians who are owned by the banksters, who want to find ways to create FUD, who want to find ways to shut down anything that could help humankind. But they're not going to win in this case. They're just not. The technology's too useful. The market's too exciting. There's too much to be gained, and crushing the spirits of a whole generation that's inventing a new way to build business and run the world. It's just not going to happen. I don't buy the whole government's going to come in and shut it down. They can't, and all the evidence to the contrary, they're getting in on it.
Yep.
And what are you going to do when Russia and China start using the blockchain seriously as a serious part of their economy, a serious part of their government, a serious part of payroll, and all these kinds of things? You're then gonna just ban it? It's impossible.
Exactly.
It's like banning coolness.
Yeah,
there will always be the four of us. You can't ban coolness.
Cowboy just dropped out. He had a router issue. He'll be right back. Okay. Z, what do you want to add, bro?
I'm actually. It's funny because when I'm I'm always looking at charts, right? So I'm actually giving the room an update right now as we're talking live right now. But I don't want to say the update live right now on air because obviously that's part of the room. But guys, we're always working. We're always working. But no, I can talk real fast about Bitcoin, Litecoin. For those of you who got into Litecoin, Litecoin's actually doing well. Now, a lot of people don't understand that, they look at their Litecoin on Coinbase or so forth, and they see that it dropped dollar value. Guys, remember, we're not tying in Litecoin with the USD ratio. You have to look at it in terms of Satoshi value. And I keep saying this to people, your Litecoin's actually going up. Currently, it's at 19. At one point, it was at 20, but it dropped all the way down to 17, and now it's back up to 19,000 Satoshis. So, people that are into Litecoin is actually doing very, very well. And this is a very, very good sort of showing for Litecoin because the alt market right now is essentially under pressure right now. Mm-hmm. And as soon as alt market kind of comes back, I believe that Litecoin is going to see a nice rise up. I don't think it's going to see a rise up to a certain blank boss is what it's saying, like a $700 range. But I think that
why are you crushing my dreams?
I don't agree with what he says just yet, but I do think that we're going to see a nice surprise with Litecoin, and it kind of plays into what Cliff High was saying, that there's going to be a nice surprise. And last time Cliff High said a nice surprise happened, Litecoin rose all the way up to the $300 range. I could very well see that happening again, guys. I could very well see that happening again, and I really think that Litecoin is building some traction right now. And my guesstimate, I'm going to give you guys the guesstimate right now. By the end of the year, I think Litecoin will be worth a sixth of what Bitcoin is worth. That's my calculation.
I'll take it. Wow. Cliff is saying a fifth.
Cliff is saying a fifth?
Yeah, Bix wants a fourth. Cliff says a fifth. Z says
a sixth.
I'll take and Cliff is saying $100,000 Litecoins or Bitcoin. So
what's Trader Boss saying?
Which means you guys
go back to that name.
You guys will be you guys stop. You guys will be working with my assistant that I hire from that when Litecoin
we won't ever hear from a man named Frank anymore.
Yeah, you guys, I'll text you from the beach if that happens. Okay. I think actually, Z, it's while we were talking, I was checking out. I'm part of a actually pretty cool Facebook group that is all Litecoin fans, and I was just seeing one of the guys was like, "I'm so discouraged that it broke below USD 175." And you just brought up, it's like that's not the point. The crypto markets move with Bitcoin, and so.
You gotta respond back to him. You gotta let him know it's not down, guys. Your Litecoin is not down. I mean, it's not. It's actually up in Satoshi value, and it's staying really, really strong. So, if you guys see Ethereum right now, Ethereum is struggling right now. Ethereum is struggling. And Litecoin is doing great, guys. Litecoin is doing great. Just take that.
That's awesome.
And Cowboy's back. Cowboy, welcome back.
And hey, Cowboy. But I was going to say, I mean, that's some awesome insight. And, that's the kind of insight you get from somebody who really understands what's going on in this market. Like even a few months ago, I probably wouldn't have understood that. I would have just looked at the USD value and not really understood how the market works. But learning from these guys, it's great. You see that in terms of the health and strength of a coin, it's not all about that USD. A lot of it has to do with how it's trading against BTC, which is what when Z talks about the Satoshi value, he's talking about the value of Litecoin in relation to Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin can you get for a Litecoin? That's the Satoshi value. And even though Bitcoin's down and the Satoshi value of Litecoin is actually up. Now in US dollars, it's down, but in its value against Bitcoin, which is what we care about more, it's up. So it's very helpful insight.
Cowboy, welcome back. What's your take?
Is he here?
He's here.
He might have some issues.
He's got
I
some
see his screen, but we can't hear him.
Can't hear him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. We love him anyway.
It's all good.
Yeah, we love
And I
roommates.
see we're talking, and I see Z is posting calls while we're talking.
Yeah, I'm just
Talk
giving,
about commitment.
I have to give him an update. I have to give him an update. You know, we just made a little bit more profit. You know, we just made a little bit more profit on EOS this time. You know, the signals don't look so good right now in EOS, so you know, I told everybody just to take profit live right there, and you know, everybody who got in made money.
How about this, Z? Could we?
Well,
What?
yes, I heard the
Cowboy, you back?
He sounds like Mr. Roboto.
Yeah.
I think we're listening to a phone call.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're
I
here.
heard you guys.
Cowboy, welcome back.
I was going to throw this out to you guys. For our wonderful listeners, can we throw them a bone? Something that you're looking at, something free.
A little juicy juice.
Yeah, something that you're looking at that may be interesting in the next couple days.
Without giving away the farm.
So the one coin that I'm actually looking at for the next couple of days is actually ADA. Now ADA yesterday, for the first time, had a bullish sort of move in a very, very long time. Now ADA has retraced from all-time highs. ADA has retraced like 92 percentile or something like that, right, on the fib. And we talked about the fib before, how when it retraces down past 70%, theoretically the difference is supposed to rebound above. Now ADA has retraced 92%. It is an absurd amount of retracement, and ADA is a top 6 coin. Very, very strong. You know, has massive SA sort of strength. SA being sentiment analysis. It has a massive community. They have some news coming out in which finally they're going to be releasing a product, I think as soon as April. A beta product, but not a full product. And yesterday was the first time in which the overall sort of half a year MACD was turning bullish. Now it's kind of stopped a little bit because Bitcoin obviously did Bitcoin things, but right now it's in an accumulation zone. It's actually pretty healthy right now. It's staying above what we actually called inside of the trade room, and I think that as soon as Bitcoin lets up just a little bit, ADA will start ramping up again. And you know, if it does ramp up, for all those who are here in December, you know, ADA was one that did a 4x like within like a week and a half. It did a 400% gain within a week and a half. Cowboy and I were calling it, you know, live back in the day. Back then, you know, we were on the phone just like working it and together, and yeah, so ADA is definitely one to take a look at, guys. And it was really cool yesterday. I actually posted into the news channel. There were some big Twitter handlers that actually called ADA about 12 hours after Cowboy and I called it, which is always a good sign. Which is always a good
Cardano,
sign.
right? Yeah.
Cardano, correct. Is always a good sign when the big guys with like 100,000, 200,000 followers and so forth, you know, are calling the same stuff that you're calling, but like later.
Yeah.
I love it.
I could see the
baby.
terrorists flying off of the van right now. Yeah.
Yep.
With their cheap AKs, you know.
Right.
They all had those
Never,
AKs.
ever.
Remember the AKs, man?
Yeah, with the little tiny little muzzles.
The banana clips.
The tiny muzzles, they were like stainless steel colored, and the only thing they ever shot was the tires. They shot the bad guy's tires. That was it. And then the vehicle would flip like 28 feet in the air because they shot him in the tire.
Extremely gracious mercenaries. That's what the A-team was.
If you have a problem and no one else could help you, and if you want to be merciful and fire 1,000 million bullets, not hit anyone, you can call the A-team.
Dude, I actually in our we use Basecamp for assigning tasks inside Remain Calm, and the asset protection team I actually call the A-team because that's exactly who they are. When no one else can help.
A penitent fool don't remain calm.
Exactly. I want to be Mr. T on the team, but I'm not sure who I am yet. I think I'm the crazy guy.
Yeah, Murdoch. I'm Hannibal, bro.
I'm gonna accept Mr. I'm gonna say I'm Mr. T. I'm just taking it. It's our company. I'm Mr. T.
Hey boy, you look mighty fine in them jeans.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you want to wrap up, but I gotta go.
Wrap up. Cowboy, you close comments. 15 seconds. Go.
Yeah, Bitcoin headed towards supports. We're hoping to get a bounce at either 7,900 or 7,500. Otherwise, we're going to see some deep correction, probably close to the 6,000 level. It could also go up. Bitcoin is unpredictable, and it is known to all of a sudden just start going upward. So that's the actual Bitcoin market report, and we are going to see you over in the trading room. www.thecryptoschool.io, and I can bring that up here while everybody else is doing their final notes here.
Thanks.
Yeah. So guys, the cryptoschool.io website is in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, it's right there in the description. It's easy. Just click it and definitely check that out, guys. I'm telling you right now, Cowboy and I have been in this game. When I first started, I joined call rooms as well. And I can tell you firsthand right now that 99% of them are garbage, and the 1% that are not garbage are heavily overpriced. I think Cowboy and I, we actually care. At least I like to think that we actually care about, our clients. It's not just about making money at that point. Of course, the making money is there, but I actually do want people to succeed. I actually do want people to create that generational wealth. And it makes me really happy when I see people inside of the trading room, screaming and shouting that night, about how much they made off of one trade, which is just unbelievable. It's euphoric. And it really sets the tone for, the entire month. Of just that alone, that entire month, because of how much you made in that one moment. Imagine making those kind of gains every single month, guys, and not having to worry about, oh hey, I've got my mortgage coming up, I've got my car payment coming up, oh wait, I'm covered already because I already have that money just made off of that one night. That at least goes for me. And it was just it was a surreal moment.
Oh, there's perspective that I want to add as well. Most of these trading rooms, if you do get fortunate enough to pay $60 or whatever $100 it is to be in a trading room where there is a chat where everybody can actually talk to the people running the room, those get capped off. They get capped at 200, 300, 400 people, just simply because you can only handle so many people. So understand that this availability of the trading room, the ability to get in, knowing what I know, I would just be locking in my spot today. I go and do whatever I had to do to get that 150 and be happy to pay that 300 because there's only so many spots available.
Correct. And we haven't determined the cap yet, but of course there will be a cap because at the end of the day, we want it to be quality inside there. And we don't want to just, a ton of people just shouting, things. And, there is only a certain amount of, administrators that can handle questions. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, we want it to be good.
Absolutely. And guys, here's the thing. At the end of the day is this. You can either be a spectator, sit on the sidelines, come up with 1,000,001 excuses of why you can't do it, and it's just have whatever excuses you want just to keep yourself paralyzed. The paralysis of analysis. Or you get some skin in the game. Try it out. Throw into the hat. I mean, you got like until April 15th. Throw $150, $149 into the hat. Come and trade. And if you're not blown away, hey, guess what? You're only out $150. Okay? You're out $150.
Yeah. And we'll give you a calendar. We'll give you a calendar with Cowboy and Frank, the real VIP access of them shirtless.
I was like, what's he talking about? A calendar?
The VIP.
So that's the whole thing, folks. I mean, you can sit there and be like, hodl, and take a bloodbath. But why hodl when you could trade on the way up, make money on the way up, make money on the way down, and then have a bigger stash when this whole entire thing goes supernova and all these cryptos soar to the moon in terms of pricing. Now you have a bigger batch. Now you're more wealthier. You're better off than somebody who just sits there and hodls.
The prime example, guys, just real fast. The prime example is Populous Token. As much as we love Populous Token, it rose all the way up to 70. Cowboy and I took some profit. We also set stop losses around 55. The 55 stop loss triggered, and guess what? Now it's back down to 18, 17, maybe even 20. But we essentially can double, if not more, our bag now. Now, instead of, previously owning, I think Cowboy and I both owned about, 3,000 PPT or so forth. Now I can buy 6,000.
And now everybody knows how much we have.
No. That was just an arbitrary number.
Yeah. Okay.
And with that being said, folks, that's the end of the show. Again, go to thecryptoschool.io, thecryptoschool.io. The link is in the description box.
Don't forget, today's the last day if you want to try to get in your first 2 months. But you're also running out of time to get your first month at the introductory pricing. Just wanted to
Absolutely.
Running out of time to get to reserve a seat. They're not going to last.
Yeah.
And you're running out of time making money. At the end of the day, you're running out of time making money. Come on.
Have we mentioned that this is urgent?
Yeah, exactly. When you got guys out there making over 200% gains. Whew.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, it's not the room's not going to be open forever.
No.
Now's the time to get in.
Got to lock it down eventually. And with that being said, folks, we're over and out. Thecryptoschool.io, thecryptoschool.io. I am the gorilla. He's the cowboy. And the man named Z and Simply Frank.
Frank.
We're over and out.